Okay, Bun Club, today we're going to cover ear mite treatment. Now, the protocol that we use in our barn is a simple two-step process. What you're going to need is some type of gentle oil. You're going to need Ivermec injectable, 1% solution, usually for swine or cattle. Some Q-tips and cotton balls, possibly some paper towels because this can get kind of messy, and a syringe in order to do the draw up for the injectable. Now, the way that we do our ear mite treatment, especially if it's very bad and crusty, is step one. We take the oil. Now the oils that my go-to oils are olive oil or sweet oil, which is sweet oil is just olive oil that's processed more thoroughly that is made medicinally to use in the ears, but either will work, or mineral oil. Baby oil can be used, but it tends to have perfumes in it, so it's more of a if you have nothing else kind of a thing. But mineral oil or olive oil are perfectly fine. Those are our first two go-to oils. What you're going to do is you're going to take your rabbit. You're going to secure it as gently as you can because it's going to be ouching because when by the time they get crusty, and crusties can happen very fast. You're going to want to pour the mineral oil into the ear. You want to get it good and coated inside of the ear. What this is going to do is this is going to soften the scabs. It does also drown the mites, but we do this as a two-step process to make sure they're actually dead. So your first part is get the mineral oil in the ear. You let it soak in there a while because you want those scabs to be soft. One of the things that Merck Vet Manual and many other vet manuals are going to tell you is that you never want to pull the dry scabs out because it is extremely painful for the rabbit. So, first, soften them with the mineral oil or the olive oil. You're going to want to let it sit a little bit, and then you're going to want to go back and very gently poke it with a Q-tip to see if it's ready to fall out on its own. You don't want to force it at all. You can continue adding more oil, and you can gently massage the base of the ear in order to get it down there a little deeper. And starting at the outside of the ear, working towards the inside of the ear, very slowly encourage the crusts to fall out on their own. This can take up to half an hour, 45 minutes. Just very slowly take your time and encourage them to come out as they're ready to come out. Do not force them. Once you have cleared all the crusts or majority of the crusts out of the ear and you've poured that down in there, but usually by the time you get the main crusts out, you're going to pour it down into the ear canal and you're going to massage the bottom of the ear gently, and you will see some white stuff and the rest of the crust kind of bubble up to the surface. You can flush one or two more times from that. You can take a Q-tip and again very gently go into the crevices of the ear and encourage the rest of those crusts out. Once that is done, you're going to want to take a cotton ball and you're going to want to very carefully pull that excess oil out of the ear. So you're going to very gently clean the rest of it. You will still have some red spots. It'll still be irritated, but it's going to look a lot better because the crust will be gone. Part of the reason why we like to use oil or olive oil is because it's also soothing while you're doing this. Once your ears are cleaned and wiped out, you're going to want to take your Ivermec injectable and you're going to draw up 2 drops. You're going to put 2 or 3 drops in each ear, and that's all you need to do. Typically what I do is put a couple drops in one ear and then I push the cotton ball into it to make sure that when they shake their head it doesn't fly everywhere, and that does help stabilize it. And then do the other ear. When I'm done putting a couple drops in each ear, once they've been cleaned, I put about a half a cc on the back of the neck. Now keep in mind, the reason that we use the injectable ivermectin inside the ears when the ears are raw is because it doesn't have any extra carrying oils. Horse paste, some people do try to use, but the way that horse paste works is it does not have an even coating of the Ivermec medication inside of it because it's meant to be given as an entire tube, so it's not always mixed thoroughly. Using the pour-on, the blue Ivermec, is okay for the back of the neck, and it's okay as a preventative if there's not open sores, but because it has an alcohol carrier, it will sting and cause a lot of discomfort in an animal that already has an active infection, which is why the suggestion is to use the injectable because it doesn't have those extra carriers, alcohol carriers, so it doesn't sting. And once that is done, you're going to basically just put your bun back, and let it be because it's going to want to calm down and decompress. Things to also take into consideration is where the infection started from. Typically, mites and ear mites like to live on damp wooden surfaces and somewhat dirty surfaces. They could also be brought into the rabbit tree on mice or rats or birds. So any kind of vector. Hay can also be a vector. So what you may want to do is go back to your cages and either bleach or burn them. To try to control any possible mite infestations that might be in the environment. And that is how you do a proper ear mite treatment. You can go back and check in about a day or two and make sure that there's no new mites and that you've successfully been able to treat it. So far, I have not had a failed attempt at this yet. So far, this has worked every single time and they become clear. I'm going to go ahead and post the videos as follows, walking through how we did this with Prince Caramel Sunday as our example, and this is exactly the steps that we took.